Hi everybody, my name is Jaden.
I'm Eli.
I'm Jason.
I'm Caden.
And we are the Yahoo and the Torah YouTube channel.
And we're back, everyone. Drum roll. Yeah. It's been a while. It has been 42 days, or a little bit more, since the last time that we have sat here as a family with you guys. Other than Shabbat, and it has been a long time. We have had a lot of things going on here. A lot of trauma in our family, and so we are back, and we really, really appreciate all of you guys. Now, what we're doing today is something a little fun because even the boys here do not know what we are doing. And so let's pull up our maps, gentlemen, as we figure out what book we're going to go over today. And first of all, let's look at the first map of the kingdom of Yisrael and the kingdom of Judah. And let's talk a little bit about this. What do you guys see here? Okay, you could look in your Telegram on that, and that's pull up that map. What do you guys make of this, Jade? Eli, Cade?
Well, we have two kingdoms. One, I guess, country, you could say, divided into two, kind of like two states.
Yeah, two states. Before that, let's actually take a look at this other map that we have right here. And let's look at, from a glance, the kingdom of Israel. We have the northern kingdom and we have the southern kingdom. A lot of people don't understand anything about any of this stuff because they don't read the scriptures. And so as we go over this, and that's my dog over there talking, my apologies, they will always do this. Let's take a quick look and let's go over this real quick. Now, when we are talking about 12 tribes of Israel, what are we talking about?
We're talking about
We were talking about basically the 12 sons of Jacob, and they departed and they became so numerous they became basically tribes and states and cities, and they became 12 tribes.
Yeah, so let's go from the very beginning. Let's do a quick recap of Genesis. In Genesis, we have what?
Start creation?
Start of creation.
All right, so we have Adam and Eve. We have the fall because they both eat the forbidden fruit. He kicked out, they have their children, Cain and Abel. Cain kills Abel. Then they have another kid named Seth, and then he goes on and has a bunch of righteous generations. They have Noah, and then they have the flood. They have his son Shem, and he ends up having a great-great-grandson like Noah, and then not Noah, but Abraham. And then he has Yitzhak, which is Isaac, and then Isaac has Esau and Jacob. Jacob steals the birthright and the blessing from his brother, runs away to a foreign land, and then marries Rachel and Leah. Then he has the 12 sons, the 12 tribes.
Yeah, the 12 tribes of Israel. And how many kings did they have? Who were the first three kings?
It was Saul,
Saul, David, Solomon.
Yep. Okay. So Saul, David, and Solomon. So we have the three kings of Yisrael. Now, a lot of people don't understand what the Jews of today are. The Jews of today are a bunch of people that have returned to the land of Israel, but they're actually not in covenant with our Creator. When you talk about being in covenant with our Creator, it means that you are keeping the laws, statutes, and commandments of our Creator, and that you are part of His ways. Now, all the way to, when we go through historical avenues, did the 12 tribes of Israel stay in covenant with our Creator?
No, they continually broke it. It's very rare they would actually keep the covenant.
Yeah, and so most people don't realize that we as people are today in exile. All of us are completely in exile. And what does that mean that we are in exile?
It means that we are in forbidden lands. We are not where we're supposed to be in our homeland.
Yeah, we're not in Yisrael. Now let's take a quick look at this. Let's look at this map. In 1063 BC, David was king, right? We had all of the kings of Yisrael. We had not the kings, but we had all the people of Yisrael. They were all united under one king, right? After David died, Solomon took over, and Solomon did extreme evil in the sight of Yah. And at the point, the 12 tribes that we had were split into a northern tribe and into a southern tribe. Now, the southern tribe, we know a lot about the southern tribe. You guys, Eli, you just went through reading these scriptures over and over and over. Jade, you just read through these scriptures over and over and over. Tell me a little bit about the southern tribe, how it ended up into Babylon, and where they are at today?
So it started with David. He was a good king, 40 years. He sinned a few times, but it was nothing like Cooper crazy to get them all exiled into slavery. And then his son Solomon, he was doing good for a while. He had 40 years. And then he started breaking off into worshiping other idols and stuff like that. And then Yah was like, I'm not going to just curse you or split the land up because I promised your father David that I would bless you and protect you. So then his son Rehoboam comes along, which is Solomon's son, and he sins even more than Solomon. And at that point, the lands split, and then they go their separate ways. They become at war with each other. They barely ever don't reunite.
They're at war and completely with each other. And as you see, the tribes are split. There's a lot of time. In 975 BC is when the two tribes of Yisrael split off. And all through this time, then you end up with the prophets. You have Obadiah, Joel, Isaiah, Micah, Nahum, Habakkuk, Zephaniah, Lamentations, and Jeremiah. Then we also have in 587 BC from this map, all the southern tribe of Yisrael went into captivity. Right, everybody knows about the David or Daniel. Everybody knows about Nebuchadnezzar, all of that, right? Because that is a big chunk of scriptures. It's all over the big chunk of scriptures. Now, when there's something that's very interesting is that in around 432 BC, they returned to Jerusalem, or around the time, and I think it was a little bit before that. The southern tribe returned to Jerusalem. Now, what don't we have?
The other 10 tribes?
The other 10 tribes. Now, let's look at this real quick. And let's look at what happened to the northern 10 tribes. Now, what we do not have today is we do not have the other 10 tribes. The other 10 tribes are out in dispersion. We are the 10 tribes of Yisrael. We are the northern kingdom that has been dispersed, that has never, ever come back. Now, we look right here with Elijah, Elisha, Amos, Hosea, and Jonah, and we see that in 721 BC, Assyria, they all went into captivity with Assyria. But that wasn't before the prophets came and talked to everybody. Now, this is the focus of this reading that we're going to do, is we are the lost tribes of Yisrael, the 10 tribes of Yisrael right here. Now, boys, based upon this intro, what book do you believe that we are going to be reading this morning and why? Eli?
I don't know.
No idea. Jaden?
I think it's one of the prophets. I think someone, and it has to be the 10 tribes. It has to be one of these prophets up here. Maybe Elijah?
Elijah? That's a good guess. Kate, do you have any guesses on this? Nothing?
Unless it's in only Apocrypha, maybe.
It's not as... is it Jonah? Are we reading Jonah?
Jonah? Nope, it is not Jonah.
Hosea?
You got it. It is Hosea.
It's one of the three up top.
Yep. So the reason we are going to Hosea today, and we're going to read through the book of Hosea, is because we have not been brought back from captivity. There is a tremendous amount of prophecy in the future that we are in right now that this book will entail on. Now, we're going to begin on this, and let's look at the prophecies of the future. Let's look at the prophecies of right now. Because we are in a time when a second Exodus is just around the corner. We don't know when the second Exodus will be. We don't know if it's in our lifetime, but we do know it is right around the corner because we are 6,000 years past where we should be right now. And there's some prophecies that we should look at and understand. Now, when we are talking about Messiah, and Messiah says he didn't come except for the lost sheep of Yisrael. Who are the lost sheep of Yisrael?
Those who don't know the Torah, those who are somewhere in other lands.
The 10 tribes that have been dispersed, that have been pulled out there. Now, what we're going to be reading in, guys, we're going to be reading in a version of Yah's Scriptures right here. Yah's Scriptures is a completely free, restored named Scriptures. There are links in the description at the bottom if you guys would like a copy of this. There's also a full Apocrypha, a 37-book Apocrypha that is completely free. These two PDFs that will be linked in the bottom are PDFs that you guys will want to put on your devices, because in the event that they turn the internet off, in the event that they disrupt what we have and try to take away what we know, you will always have this. And so you guys can download these to your phones. You can download them to your tablets. You can download them to your TVs. You can pull them up anywhere on this stuff, and they are simply amazing. Now, we are going to be going into the bookmarks right here, and I'm going to be going into the book of Hosea, which is right over. I missed it, didn't I? Hold on.
Right after Daniel.
Right after Daniel. There it is, Hosea. Right there. And so we have Hosea. And so let us begin into the book of Hosea. Now, before, again, we jump into this, I want to go back to this map and take a look at Hosea was one of the very last prophets that they had. One of the last people that were saying, hey, this is what's going to happen to you guys. You guys need to be very, very, very careful what's going to happen here. Now, because this applies to all of us, we are all been spread across the four corners of the world. We are these lost 10 tribes. So all of this had to do with our forefathers and their punishments. And then as we go through Hosea, we're going to find out a whole bunch of future prophecy that is ready for us at the door right now. You guys ready?
Yep.
Okay. Hosea, the word of Yahuwah that came to Hosea, son of Beeriel, in the days of Uzziah, Jotham, Achaz, and Kiziah, sovereigns of Yehuda, and in the days of Jeroboam, son of Joash, sovereign of Yisrael. Now, Eli, you were the one that read through these scriptures. Do you have anything on any of these people that we just read?
Most of these kings were very wicked.
Yeah,
I think actually all of them were.
Achaz.
Kizikiah is the only one that's like not wicked.
Right.
Out of all those kings.
Right, and so we ended up with all of these evil kings and evil leaders that were leading Yisrael, and they never led them to a success. They led them to captivity. Verse 2. The beginning of the word of Yahuwah with Hosea. And Yahuwah said to Hosea, go, take yourself a woman of whoring and children of whoring, for the land has utterly whored away from Yahuwah. So he went and took Gomer, daughter of Diblaim, and she conceived and bore him a son. And Yahuwah said to him, call his name Yisrael. For a little while I shall revenge the blood of Yisrael on the house of Yahu, and put an end to the reign of the house of Yisrael. Okay, so what do we make of this? Why did our Creator send somebody to a whore and have him essentially have his heart broken by a woman named Gomer?
Because he was showing the people what it feels like for him. This is what he feels like every time we sin and break his commands.
Yeah, absolutely. Every time that we sin and we are not keeping the Torah of our Creator, we are like filthy harlots. We're filthy whores, and we do evil in the sight of our Creator. Now, this is all the crazy ways that our Creator works and the crazy stuff that he does and the way he works. Let's continue on. 5. And it shall be in that day that I shall break the bow of Yisrael in the valley of Yisrael. And she conceived again and bore a daughter. And he said to him, call her name Lo Rukama, for no longer do I have compassion on the house of Yisrael, so as to forgive them all. But I shall have compassion on the house of Yehuda, and save them by Yahuwah their Elohim, and not save them by bow or by sword or battle, by horses or horsemen. Now I want to go back to this part right here, because our Creator says he's not going to save Yisrael, right? And remember, when we're dealing with these two tribes, we have the tribe, basically two different sections at this point. We have the kingdom of Judah and we have the kingdom of Yisrael. And the kingdom of Judah is essentially comprised of two separate tribes. We have Yehuda, Judah, and we also have Benjamin. Everybody else was at the very top. Now, as we get over here, we see that our Creator freed Yisrael. Now, it said in prophecy in Hosea, before Yisrael, before the Yehuda was ever freed, it said he was going to free them, right? From what we just read. Everybody with me?
Yep.
Okay, but he said he wasn't going to save them by bow or sword or by battle. Eli, can you tell me what happened coming out of Babylon? Was Israel, was the house of Yehuda, Judah, was it saved by sword? Was it saved by horsemen? What was it saved by?
Yeah.
How did this look?
Saved by Yahuwah.
It's saved by Yahuwah.
They repented.
How did it look? Did a whole bunch of swordsmen of our Creator come in and free them from Babylon?
Technically, I believe what happened was...
Technically what?
Well, yeah, it was.
That wasn't it.
Well, no,
It was Nehemiah.
Yeah, it was Nehemiah. No, there was no swords, there was no horsemen, there was no anything.
I was thinking when they went to Persia. Sorry.
Yeah, we've read this a gazillion times.
I know.
There was absolutely no sword fare at all.
I was thinking when they actually, like, when the other people, Persia came over and took over and then took them with them as well.
Right. So we have Ezra, and we have Nehemiah, and those are the guys that were told to go back and essentially start the temple again and go back to Jerusalem. And so you have amazing stories in Nehemiah of them coming back out of captivity. You have amazing stories out of Ezra where the people had not had the Torah, and they started reading the Torah and they started weeping over this Torah.
Well, it's kind of why they come back into the land, because they started like following Torah, like, oh, we found something we haven't heard in like 200 years.
They followed it, but there is a set of people, the lost 10, that never ever have made it back.
We don't know what happened to them. They just kind of disappeared.
You're sitting there talking around a table with them, son. We are the 10. We are part of the 10
the
tribes.
original 10. They disappeared across the world.
They were dispersed all across They were all over the Middle East back in the day. Then they're all over the world right now.
So obviously they didn't repent.
No, and that's what prophecy said prior to this. Is Yah says, "I will scatter my sheep and I will distribute them throughout all the Gentiles. You won't know. You will have no more identity. Your identity will be gone." And so this is where we are trying to claim back our identity and trying to figure this out. Okay, now let's go on verse 8. And she weaned Lo Ruhamah and conceived and bore a son. Then he said, "Call his name Lo Ami, for you are not my people, and I am not for you. Yet the number of the children of Israel shall be as the sand of the sea, which is not measured, nor counted. And it shall be in the place where it was said to them, You are not my people. They shall be called, You are the sons of the living El." This is very interesting right here, right? First of all, it says Yisrael is not his people. But then he says that Yisrael shall be counted as the sand of the sea, which is not measured or counted. And it shall be in a place where it was said to them, You are not my people. They shall be called, You are the sons of the living El. Do you understand? Anyone understand what this says?
Basically, everyone's gonna know who they are when they look at them.
Where is the land of You are not my people?
I guess Israel right now.
Well, Israel is where his people are supposed to be, people that are in covenant. But the other people who are dispersed are amongst the world. If you're dispersed amongst the people, we are amongst the people who are not Yah's people, right? But there's a lot of us. That is what it is saying right here, is there are a lot of people that have been dispersed that have never, ever come back. And so this is where we're talking about coming out of this captivity, and all of us that are coming alive in our captivity, finding this Torah, finding this way forward, finding our ways to the kingdom to come, because there will be another Exodus that is on its way. Verse 11, and the children of Yehudah and the children of Yisrael shall be gathered together and appoint for themselves one head, and shall come up out of the earth. For great is the day of Yisrael. Now, this is the very first prophecy that has not happened yet. This has not happened, right? The children of Yisrael are not as one head. We will be one head when our Messiah comes, right? The house of Yehudah and the house of Yisrael will be bound back together, and there will be one leader for all of this. And so this is what we are looking at, is verses like this in verse 11, where this is a future prophecy, because this is not here. And the children of Yehudah and the children of Yisrael shall be gathered together. We are looking for this together. We are looking for the days when this is going to come. But this has not happened yet, because you do not have all the dispersed tribes. You do not have the 10 tribes that are hooked up. We're not in Yisrael. We are not in the land. We are all over the world. We are everywhere, but we're not there yet. And so this is the focus that we are going to be doing on these readings today. Now, gentlemen, anyone have anything in closing? Anything? Does this make sense to you guys? Because you guys didn't know what we were going to do. Do you guys understand what I am trying to say here, Kate?
Yes.
Kate, you guys get this?
Yeah.
And the importance that everybody out there, you guys have an identity There is an identity that we have, and we are the people of our Creator. But you have to do things to get into this identity. If you think that you're going to be able to sit there and eat your pork, you're going to be able to worship on the wrong day, you're not going to be in covenant with our Creator, and He's going to call you to the second Exodus, that's not what's going to happen. He's going to call the people who are obedient to Him. The people that are keeping His law, statutes, and commandments, those are the people who are going to be into the second Exodus, where our Messiah is going to be the leader of us. He's going to be the one that brings us all together, that tells us if we have our appointed times wrong, who tells us if we're missing something here or there, that gets us in line with our Creator completely.
And as we can see from history that if you repent and start following the commands, you'll be returning to the land.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Our Creator does not wish that anyone should perish. And so He's giving everybody adequate time to get things together. The people that are coming are the people that are coming. The people that are forsaking the kingdom have forsaken the kingdom. And so we're trying to grab the stragglers. We're trying to get people to understand that they have a great identity, and your identity is a child of the Most High. All right, folks, that is it. We love you guys very, very much. We will see you guys tomorrow, Yah willing. Thank you guys for listening in, and we are out.
All right, shalom.